Hey guys, it's Phantom Sex Listener here, back again with another Phantom Sex Listener video here. Take a sip of this coffee. I did a vote text poll a few minutes ago, and apparently we got... It actually says 90 something now, since I was looking at this like a long time ago. But apparently we got Jealous 2012 Leo X Listener. So I decided to change up my style, since I always freestyle and I make up my story a little bit. Like it always comes out a little messy. Let me go back to my normal background. Like I was saying, it always comes out a little messy and it doesn't really sound like a story. It sounds more like of a role play. So I decided to read things or say things like I'm on Wattpad, or as if I'm just like, narrating an actual story. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get straight into it. So it's been about a few months since you and Leonardo have been dating. And after he found out him and Karai are actually siblings, after Master Splinter told him, he immediately snapped out of his crush. Every time they got a chance to hang out, even though Karai was supposed to be attacking him and stuff, she betrayed Shredder and would hang out with them and tell the crew not to attack him because it was her brother. Every time you were on patrol and saw Leo and Karai talking, you grew this anger. Your blood boiled, and you thought to yourself, wow, I get it. It's brotherhood, sisterhood, but shouldn't we talk like that? I don't even know him anymore. At this point, you crossed your arms. I'm not jealous. Maybe I am jealous, you thought to yourself. In order to get his attention, you were thinking of a plan. You sat on the couch and thought, what could I do to get Leo's attention? I can't just steal his katanas because he'll know it's me. I'm the only one who does that besides Mikey trying to play with them. Raph sat next to you, looking pissed. You looked over to him and said, what's up with you? He says, that son of a... Leo. He won't even, give attention to anybody anymore because he's so busy with Karai, and every time we try to talk to him, all he brings up is Karai. Like, doesn't he have better things to do? Crazy, right? He rubbed the back of his neck and crossed his arms. You say, exactly. It's like all he talks about is Karai. Hey, could you do me a favor? Or at least listen. He looked at you and kind of looked like he was raising an eyebrow. You say, I'm trying to get Leo's attention. Could you maybe help me with that? And he says, so, I bet you're jealous too. Well, in my case, I'm not really jealous. I'm kind of glad that he's hanging out with Karai. Not in your case. In my case, that he's not being an annoying and a jerk. But, what's your plan? Or, what do you want as a plan? Well, I was thinking, maybe I could get him to be jealous. Take a sip of this coffee. By the way, I'm trying to cope with this coffee. Every time I swallow it, it kind of tastes like mushrooms. And it tastes so bad. But it's coffee, I gotta take it in. Anyway. And he said, well, I can't help you out on this one. At least in my perspective. I got better things to do, like training, feeding Spike, and maybe running around patrolling. Plus, gotta watch over Mikey. But maybe do something like this. He came up close to you and whispered in your ear so no one else could hear. I know you're friends with Casey. I'm just not gonna say this out loud so Donnie won't freak out and probably go jealous and nuts on you. Maybe try hanging out with Casey, or one of your closest friends, whoever you have. Try bringing up topics, talking trash, hanging out with each other, and maybe even add a little spice in there, like maybe even trying to kiss. Don't kiss. Just act like you're going to in front of Leo. He winked and had a small grin on his face. You chuckled and looked at him and said, thanks, Raph. Your advice, honestly, isn't so bad at all. He looked at you with a surprised face. feeling slight but not so offended. Huh, thank you, I guess. But don't go running off and, trying to make him all boiled up. I know how Leo can get when he gets boiled up and jealous. Happened to the last... Never mind. You say happened to? I'll tell you that story later, he said, getting up with his magazine. Don't ask where the magazine came from. You shrugged and say, huh, maybe he did have someone before me. Once more, Leonardo came in the lair, laughing his butt off. Not with Karai, but before Karai left to go back to Shredder's lair or something like that. Best patrol ever. Hey, listener. I'm still gonna call you guys listener, not reader. Or UYN. Hey, listener. Sorry I didn't have any or much time to watch Space Heroes. I had to go do something with... You cut him off. Karai. I know. I'm sorry, Leo, honey. I have to go home. Actually, I gotta go, help my friend with something. It's really special. But I'll see you next time to watch Space Heroes. You gave him a smooch on the cheek. Mwah. Oh. MK. Good luck. And I wish your friend good luck too. You climbed up to the surface and went back. And you say, well, that reaction was fatal. Or something like that. So, by that day forward on, you started hanging out with Casey more and your closest, and I mean closest best friend. Casey didn't seem to warn him off, make him jealous or make him at least roll his eyes. What did, though, was you bringing your best friend over. Because it was something about your best friend that they and Leo always had a debate. Or they would always backtalk, or they just didn't get along with each other. It was like your best friend was better than Leo in many ways. Leader, strong, well, not really strong, but funny, many more interests, and not being obsessed with Space Heroes or something like that. So, you came down, made sure no one was in the lair. You came in with your best friend. And you two started, talking trash and played some video games. You say, hey, I'm gonna order some pizza. So, you want to stay in the lair for a little bit longer? Maybe do some stuff. You nudged your best friend. They chuckled and they said, yeah, sure. This place is pretty cool. Just as long as Nardo isn't here, then I won't have a problem. Unless he wants to get pissed off by me. He hates my face. You laughed and said, yeah, sure seems like it. You two hate each other. You called for pizza. Cowabunga. Cowabunga pizza, bros. Cowabunga, dude. I'm sorry. After a little while, the turtles were in the lair. They were just observing it too. Leo came out not knowing if you were there or not. He was training in the dojo. I don't know if everything is separate, so... He was training in the dojo and put his katanas away and sighed to himself. His thoughts. Leo's POV. Finally. I think listeners out there are probably watching something or playing video games with Mikey. I can finally spend some time with him. I mean, yeah, I've been spending tons of time with Karai. They're right. Maybe I should make it up to them. I don't know. I do have many things to do. It's tough. But maybe I should at least take a little bit of time with the... He stopped thinking for a moment, seeing you and your best friend playing video games. But since your friend had lots of skills with a controller, he was actually playing with one hand and the other was wrapped around you. Well, his arm. His jaw immediately dropped a little bit and his blood boiled. He felt like he wanted to grab his katana and just slash his head off. Not that gory or graphic. Never mind, he mumbled underneath his breath. You notice Leonardo's presence and say, oh, hey, Leo, sorry that I didn't tell you my friend was coming over. They looked back and said, hey, Nardo, wanna join? He says, no, thank you. I have a few things to do. Your friend teased him. Like, what, hanging out with your sister? Pff, you two laughed, nomming on some pizza. He clenched his fist and said, no, like patrolling. Not like you would understand. Your friend replied, back talking, sure, buddy. Sure. At least I know what it's like to have the bestest friend in the world. He looked at you, kind of giving that boo-boo bear kind of voice. And you say, and I know what it's like to have the bestest friend in the world. You two touched noses like you two were gonna kiss. He looked at you two and waited for a moment. You two touched foreheads and then blushed at a moment. You certainly did. Admitting yourself, you did kind of have feelings for your best friend, but those feelings wouldn't overcome how much you had a crush on Leo. Not crush, but how long you've been together and how much Leo makes you happy. But by the presence of your best friend and how much you were mad at Leo, you were blinded. So those feelings for Leo kind of went away for a moment as you were staring at your best friend. He gently put his hand on your cheek and said, so, you want to kiss or not? You backed away a little bit and said, whoa, don't you, You had no words. Leo stormed off, climbing up to the surface of staying up on a rooftop. And he thought to himself, you know, it may be over for us too. Raph sat next to him and said, hey, huh? Leo said, what are you doing here? It's none of your business, Leo said, replying to Raph, in kind of a angry-ish tone. Raph sat next to him and said, you seem upset. I know we don't talk much. We usually backtalk to each other, but for the first time ever, don't even mention this to anyone. I'm gonna fucking kill you. What's wrong? Open up. I know there's something in that turtle heart of yours. He just kind of pointed at his chest plate. That's bothering you. Now come on, Nardo. Open up. He sighed, putting back his katanas. So, I've been upset that listeners been hanging out with their best friend more than me. Or at least, did you see what happened just a minute ago? They touched foreheads and looked like they were about to kiss. Their lips were inches away from each other. Listener really looked like they wanted to kiss him or them. But it looks like they stopped themselves from doing that. Raph sighed, crossing his arms. Bro, I gotta tell you something. That I've been keeping this in for a long time from you. That listener has been telling me. He looks at him with a confused face. Leo, by the way. Listener's been jealous of you and Karai. How you've always been mentioning her, hanging out with her when we are in patrol, when you should be the leader and the responsible one for patrol, first of all. And how you just randomly disappear, always training with her too, trying to get new moves and skills. How you guys all of a sudden flirt in a, kind of a sister-brother way. He realizes, oh, I've made them jealous? Raph kind of smacks the back of his head and he says, what do you think, dumbass? Ow. Okay, I get it. I made them jealous. But I wasn't meaning to. I was always thinking of them. Well, you should have acted like it. What do I do to make it up to them? Have a talk. Now that I have my talk with you, you go down there, be a man, and a leader that you are, says you. Stop being a jerk to your partner and talk to them. He got up, walking away. Didn't have to be so brutal, but worth a shot. He went back to the lair. You and your best friend were still, playing video games and trash talking, etc. He walked up behind you. You didn't notice Leo's presence as you and your friend were talking. And he said, "Hey, You two looked back at him. And he said, could we talk? You say, not right now, I'm kind of busy. You ruffled with your friend's hair. And he says, no, like, right now. It's really important. He says, gently grasping on your shoulder. You felt the tension. And you say, I'll be right back, okay? Okay, come in. Your friend shrugged. You guys went into his bedroom and started to talk. Look, I'm sorry for everything. You looked at him with a confused look and raised your eyebrow. Sorry about what? Well, how much I've been talking about Cry and hanging out with her. But it was in a sister and brother way, not as like if we were... I know that you cut him off. I know you would never do that. First of all, that's just disgusting. Second of all, yes, I was jealous. You both say at the same time, yes, I was jealous. You two looked at each other. Leo's big blue eyes. You two blushed at each other for a moment. Leo looked at his hands, playing around with his fingers. And he said, I got jealous about you and your friend. How you two were close and how you two almost kissed when I went up to the surface. I always thought of you when I was with Karai. I was just blinded by her kindness that I completely forgot about your love and giving you love and attention like I used to. Do you forgive me? He looks back up at you. You didn't know what to say but a blush. You hugged him and gave him a little peck on the cheek. I forgive you, Leo. Just don't be blinded by other people's kindness. Okay? He puts his arms around your waist. Of course. I'll make sure not to do that again, okay? You wrapped your arms around his neck. Good. Now, I'm gonna kick my friend out of here before he causes any trouble so he can go hang out with Casey. I just want it to be just the two of us. Mikey on the ceiling with Donnie decides to play some slow dance music. Just the two of us slowed. Leo was confused. Looking up, didn't see Mikey or Donnie since they were in the shadows. Mikey chuckled slightly. And he says, you raise an eyebrow and you say, did you plan this? He says, no, yes, wanting to impress you. You didn't plan this at all, did you? No, honestly, no. He seemed disappointed. Well, I like it anyway. Now come here, you big dork. You kissed him. He kissed you back, deepening the kiss. And then you hear like a click of someone taking photos of you two. Leo looked up, bringing the kiss once more, and he saw the flash, looking up at Raph, Donnie, and Mikey. He growled slightly. Just a minute. He did a little bit of parkour going up there. I want to talk with you three right now. Photos. Donnie shouted, scatter, now. They ran. Leo dropped down. Never mind, I can't get them. Plus I'm too tired from all that training. And you say, music is still on. You gave him that kind of flirty tone. He blushed. He said, well, oh shush, Leo, just come here. You grabbed his arm, going back into the kiss. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video was actually inspired by I'm Not Jealous, which is I think his name is Rander or something like that. Another Bunny Sketches or Bunny Sketch didn't actually inspire me on this one, so I'm sorry, Bunny Sketch, but it was actually Rander. I'm just gonna call him Rander because he has a video called I'm Not Jealous, which is also Leo, who has been also talking about Cry a lot, and you've gotten jealous and they started hanging out with Raph. Please go check out that video. It is very nice. He has some really good content, a really soothing voice, even though sometimes the music in the background may be a little loud, but he has some really good videos. Thank you guys for watching, and my Instagram, Discord link server, and my wattpad, yeah, I think I said that, and the songs that I use will all be in the description below. I hope I did a good job with kind of a narrating voice without adding any extra details in there, kind of like silly details. And what I meant earlier by my coffee kind of chases like mushrooms, it just kind of, it doesn't suit it. I added a little bit more sugar. The taste went away for a little bit and it came right back. I don't know why. Is it because I ate cucumbers earlier or what? Let me take another sip of this. Like at the tip of my tongue, it starts out fine. Going to like the backish, getting to my throat, that's when the bad taste comes in. Ugh. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.